Like I said, I know that I've told these stories before, but I'll tell them again. They're good. Baal Shem Tov. And once there was a great Talmudic scholar, very devout religious Jew, very good man, and he hated the Baal Shem Tov. He hated the Baal Shem Tov. That was like the, how do you say, the spirit of the times. The whole Jewish religious world was supposed to be on their guard for this person and his teachings, the Baal Shem Tov. Why? Because the Baal Shem Tov taught that every Jew is holy, and that even the greatest Jews also have to return to God more. You have to what's called do tshuva, and repent, if you want to call it. And the holiness of the Torah and the holiness of the commandments, and when you do a commandment, and etc., and the things that weren't accepted. Happiness, you have to be happy, you have to be emotional, you have to show your love, you have to. This is not accepted by the general religious world. Okay, so there was one such person like this, and he was a big rabbi, and he was a vehement enemy of this whole crazy Chassidic movement and their teachings and their looseness and their. But he had a daughter that was paralyzed. His daughter had paralyzed. Maybe she was paralyzed for birth, whatever it was. But he was a man that was successful. He sat and learned Torah almost all day, but he was a successful man. And he had a lot of money, and he spent almost all of it on doctors. They went to the best doctors and the best experts with alternate doctors, and got all sorts of blessings, and they traveled around within water and healing waters and healing places. And the daughter just remained, she wasn't paralyzed. I'm sorry, I made up one. She was like, how do you call it? They call it, no, there's a word for it. Is it? Uh, Anyway, like catatonic. That's not the word. I'll get the word in my mind. So she was just like totally out of it. She would sit behind the oven in the house that was like sort of a place, and they had to like feed her, and they had to clothe her, and they had to, and she was like totally non-cooperative and the whole thing. She just barely moved. She just barely moved. So suddenly someone told him about the Baal Shem Tov. He said, "Go over there. He'll make miracles. He makes amazing miracles." So our hero said, "Listen, there's no way you're going to get me to go to that person. It's like selling your soul to the devil. And I'm not going to." People said, "What are you talking about? He's a holy man. Where'd you get these ideas from?" I said, "Don't worry. I got it from reliable sources. I'm not taking it." Okay, but he had a wife, and his wife started driving him crazy because of your stupid ideas, and you've got no basis. There's no basis for these ideas, your hatred. You're not going to go. It's a chance to save our daughter. So he said, no, 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 no. Until finally, it was bad enough, the problems he had from his daughter. Now he's got problems from his wife. So he said, okay. So he takes a bag of money, because that's what he hears. These rabbis, they're, the Chassidim, they're just a bunch of charlatans. All they want is money. But he figures at least he'll get rid of his wife. His wife won't drive him crazy anymore. So he takes the bag of money and he carries his daughter over to the wagon, to the carriage that he has. He puts her in the carriage. And they drive to Mezibus, where the Baal Shem Tov is. And he goes into the house of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, he lived like it was like a room, the second floor, whatever it was. That was where the accepted people, at least that's where he was then. And there was a window out to the street. So this man was out. He went he was dressed up. He dressed himself up nice, a religious guy. He goes into the Baal Shem Tov, and he's very grateful because you can look out the window, you can see the carriage. He parked the carriage in a good place, but if anything happened, he could run downstairs. So he says to the Baal Shem Tov, "I've come from such and such a city. I have a paralyzed daughter. She's sitting in the wagon down there, and I heard that you can heal. I hear you have powers of healing. You can heal." So he takes the bag of money and he puts it on the Baal Shem Tov's table, and he pulls the string that holds it together. He says, "Here it is. This is the $100,000 in coins and whatever it is, in golden coins. I want you to heal my daughter." And so the Baal Shem Tov looks at him and he takes the bag of money and he turns around to the window and he says, I don't want your money. What do I care about your money for? And he throws it out the window. And it lands on the coins are all rolling around. And the man says, wow, I'm losing the whole thing. He's throwing $100,000. He's throwing out the window. What am I? He's just astounded. And all of a sudden he hears from outside his daughter's voice. His daughter like never talked. She never spoke. She would say like a word, a groan sometimes once in a while. Daddy, Daddy, there's golden coins in the street. Look. He looks out the window. He sees there's his daughter jumped out of the carriage and she's gathering these coins together and she's putting them in her pockets, in her dress. So immediately he realized it's amazing. It's amazing. So he runs downstairs and he helps his daughter pick up the coins and he says, hurry, hurry, pick up the coins. Let's get out of here before that Baal Shem Tov says that he did the miracle and we want the money back. End of story. What's the point of the story? The point of the story is, of course, Baal Shem Tov did do the miracle, but he did not do the miracle in a way that he took the credit for it. And he did not do the miracle in a way that was obvious that he did it. It seems to be, she was sitting in the carriage and the Baal Shem Tov was up in his room. So somehow or other, the miracle just sort of happened in the street. And the Baal Shem Tov himself even said he didn't want the money. So it wasn't, obviously he didn't have any hand in it, right? But the man overlooked the fact that his daughter had been paralyzed for, 15, 16 years, whatever it was. And she couldn't, and because they went to the Baal Shem Tov, suddenly she got, it was a coincidence, even a coincidence that wasn't by him. He didn't see any miracle whatsoever connected to this holy man. It's the same thing with us. Moses took the Jews out of Egypt, and the Jews went against Moses. They didn't see any connection between Moses and what happened. And the same thing is going to be with Mashiach. The whole idea of Mashiach is the Mashiach is going to do these amazing miracles. Of course, God is doing the miracles. There's no doubt God is doing it. But he's doing it because this person is here, through this person. And that's the idea why also Jews go and pray at the graves of tzaddikim. Because God does miracles through these people, and their holiness still remains even after they're not visible to us, or not, just like the Baal Shem Tov was not in the street where the girl did the miracle. Have a good day with Mashiach. Now, we need big miracles, and we're getting big miracles. Amazing, amazing miracles. Right? We can see in Israel, thank God, we have the worst, stupidest, this self-destructive government in the world. The generals of the army are one by one just senseless people. It's just impossible to comprehend what's going on. What are they thinking? What do they want? And they're starting to reveal that it was the generals that were responsible for the tragedy of October. They purposely didn't call up troops because they wanted there to be a tragedy so that they could depose Bibi Netanyahu. They're starting to reveal this. So the government is terrible, and our enemies around us are the worst, and we're surrounded on all sides. And the United Nations hates us. All the nations of the world are all against us, and nothing is happening here. Nothing's happening. There's electricity, and there's water, and there's driving in the streets. People say hello to each other, Sometimes, like, the door in the mikveh doesn't work or something like that. That's our big problems. We're living on amazing, amazing, amazing miracles. We have food to eat. We have clothes to wear. And they shot at us already 26,000 missiles have been shot at us. I think they gave up already shooting missiles. Even though there was one, I think, a couple of days ago. I don't even run down to the door, the bomb shelters. I don't even move. I just stay in my room. But it's just so obvious, the amazing miracles. The Rebbe said, Israel is the safest place for a Jew. And he said, Kfar Chabad is the safest place in Israel. However it is, it's amazing. And it's true that the newspapers blow things up and they want everybody to be afraid and to be scared. And there's going to be global warming and there's going to be a catastrophe and the cataclysm and what is it called? The reset and the what do they call the epiphany? It's all sorts of weird. The whole thing is a big bluff. There's nothing to be afraid of. God is with us, ki yimanu kel. But we need Mashiach now. The fact is, there's a lot of problems, a lot of terrible tragedies that are happening. A lot are happening, and we have to have a different world, and it's going to be that way. God willing, before tomorrow's class, tomorrow Mashiach will already be here, and we'll say, "Oh, good. At least we've been waiting for it." Here. God bless you all. Have a good day, and see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be Rosh Chodesh Shvat. See you tomorrow.